We're going to cross straight to our correspondent, Luke Shrago, who joins us now. Luke, I mean, it really was a last-minute deal, wasn't it? Eventually done with negotiations all night to continue this truce?
That's absolutely right, Stuart. Negotiations continuing right up until the last minute. The truce set to expire at 7 in the morning local time, just minutes beforehand, with word coming in that the deal had in fact been done. Now, as you said, Hamas had offered a list of 7 names along with 3 bodies that they said had been killed in an Israeli strike. That was refused by Israel, and they had been demanding a list of 10 names of hostages to be released, which has finally come in. That means that the truce will continue for at least another 24 hours under the same conditions, with 30 Palestinian prisoners to be released later once those hostages are back in Israeli hands. Now, it has to be said at this point that there have been reports this morning in Israeli media. They've been saying that if you look back at Wednesday's release, there were 10 hostages released, as well as 2 others that Hamas had said would be a gesture to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Those 2 extra hostages were holding Russian citizenship. Now, these reports in Israeli media have been suggesting that the list, in fact, contains those 2 names, that they've been added to the 2. So we'll potentially be seeing only 8 more released today. So this shows really just how hard the negotiations have been evolving, really. We've seen a lot of women and children released, many being released so far, and it's a question of exactly what Hamas is going to demand to move forwards. It's generally known that they will be asking a lot more for the release of both male hostages and for captured Israeli soldiers. So for the time being, Israel saying it will maintain the truce at least until no more hostage releases are forthcoming, at which point it will resume its offensive. That was the question of what would happen on Thursday morning, with a potential immediate resumption of combat operations and in Israel's stated aims to eradicate Hamas entirely.
Meanwhile, Luke, we've had news coming into us over the last few hours of this shooting early in Jerusalem today. Tell us more about that.
Well, the attack came during rush hour in West Jerusalem. 2 attackers stopped a vehicle very close to a bus stop, coming out of that vehicle there and opening fire at very close range on a crowd of people waiting for the bus. Now, we know at this point at least 3 people have been killed, with some of those critically wounded who'd succumbed to their wounds a little later in hospital, at least 1 person being pronounced dead at the scene. We've seen security camera footage showing the attack with at least 2 members of the Israeli security forces and 1 armed civilian, what Israeli media has reported as neutralizing the attackers, meaning in fact that they were shot dead. It's a short while ago, Israel's Interior Security Service, Shin Bet, stated that the 2 attackers were 2 brothers from East Jerusalem and that they were supporters of Hamas. Now, others who were wounded in the attack have been receiving medical attention. Their states range from serious to lightly wounded, with police conducting searches for other potential attackers just in case that there was anything else waiting in the wings, as it were. And this shows that this tension still remains at an all-time high, despite the releases of these hostages, providing a ray of hope for many across Israel.
Luke, thanks very much. Luke Shrago, our correspondent, talking to us live there from Tel Aviv.